Thich Nhat Hanh, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, Transforming Suffering into Peace, Joy, and Liberation. In The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching, Thich Nhat Hanh takes readers on a journey through the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, which are the essence of the Buddha's teachings. These principles provide a roadmap for transforming suffering into peace, joy, and liberation. The introduction focuses on helping readers understand the key concepts, such as recognizing their suffering, exploring its origins, ceasing to create suffering, and following the Noble Eightfold Path. The aim is to make this journey accessible and engaging for readers as they learn to remove the obstacles that separate them from joy.
Buddha's teachings transform suffering into joy. Siddhartha Gautama's journey led him to discover the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. These teachings provide a path to transform suffering into joy, starting with recognizing the inevitability of suffering. By connecting with our pain and understanding its source, we can stop doing the things that cause us pain and instead live deeply and peacefully by following the Noble Eightfold Path. The key message is that through conscious commitment to practicing the Four Noble Truths, we can remove obstacles in our lives that separate us from joy. Embracing suffering, the first step to healing. According to Buddha, embracing our suffering is the first step towards healing. Denying and escaping from pain only causes us to carry an impossibly heavy burden. Therefore, we must acknowledge our pain, investigate its nature, and finally name it to progress towards healing. The process of healing involves 3 turnings, similar to visiting a doctor for a diagnosis. The first turning requires us to recognize our pain and acknowledge its presence. Instead of running away from it, we must embrace it fully with love and care. The second turning involves exploring our suffering through meditation to understand it better. The final turning, realization, brings us the results of our exploration, allowing us to name and describe our suffering. Although this identification doesn't end our pain, it sets us on the path to healing. Our suffering becomes a holy truth, leading us to growth and freedom. Remember, healing is impossible unless we choose to embrace our pain. So take your suffering into your arms, the way a mother picks up her crying baby. It's time to identify the nature of your pain and progress towards healing. The origins of suffering. The Buddha's teachings teach us to identify and avoid toxins in our consumption habits, including food, entertainment, intentions, and consciousness, in order to reduce suffering in our lives. The Buddha's teachings center around the notion that suffering is inherent in human existence and that it can be overcome. In one of his parables, a young couple, unable to survive in a desert without food, fed on their son's flesh. Although this example is extreme, many of us feed our suffering in various ways, including toxic consumption habits. The first step to healing is recognizing what feeds our suffering, which is the second turning of the second noble truth. We consume nutrients in various forms, including food, drink, entertainment, intentions, and consciousness. These can either nourish or harm us both mentally and physically. Mindfully selecting what we engage with can protect us from toxic consumption. To enter the encouragement turning, we must identify the toxins in our consumption habits and commit to changing them. We acknowledge that our happiness will increase when we stop ingesting toxins. Finally, we must achieve realization by putting our intention into action, using mindfulness to observe what we consume and avoid toxins. This is how we reduce suffering in our bodies and minds. By becoming aware of our consumption habits and avoiding toxins, we can learn to tend to ourselves with greater compassion and love, creating a life that is free from suffering. Valuing well-being for happiness. The third noble truth emphasizes the importance of valuing well-being to achieve happiness. Through mindfulness, one can cultivate gratitude for good health and actively seek out joy in everyday experiences. By acknowledging the joy of well-being, individuals prepare themselves for the path out of suffering and towards well-being. Challenging perception for a happy life. In the book, The Heart of Buddha's Teaching, Thich Nhat Hanh emphasizes on the importance of right view and right thinking to lead a happy life. Right view involves acknowledging transformation and examining perceptions, while right thinking requires seeing things as they are and being fully present in the moment. Both practices require challenging perceptions and thoughts that are influenced by past experiences and emotions. By doing so, one can achieve clear vision and articulate speech, ultimately leading to the view of ultimate reality in a happy life. The healing power of mindfulness. Mindfulness can transform your life by deepening your awareness of the impact your habits have on yourself and those around you. By practicing right mindfulness, you become fully present and less overwhelmed by your emotions, leading to calmer and more compassionate communication with others. This practice is at the core of the Buddha's teachings and can generate a healing energy that eases suffering both within and outside of yourself. Through mindful listening and speech, you can restore communication channels and heal wounds within relationships. The Art of Living Peacefully. Thich Nhat Hanh, in his book, shares his thoughts about leading a peaceful life. The Noble Eightfold Path is a significant part of his philosophy. The book explains that right action is one of the 8 steps, requiring us to respect all life and practice nonviolence. Thich Nhat Hanh emphasizes the significance of cultivating kindness towards others, promoting social justice and preventing exploitation. Sexual responsibility is also an essential aspect of right action. He believes that a lack of understanding, good communication and kindness during sex can be harmful to others. Right action leads to right livelihood and promoting a peaceful, happy work environment. Thich Nhat Hanh urges us to be mindful of our choices and actions, which influence the livelihoods of others. Joyful practice. The key message of the book is that joy arises from ease, which can be achieved through right diligence, an energy that helps put the Noble Eightfold Path into action. The book explains how a monk's meditation practice wasn't based on the right view and therefore didn't bring him the enlightenment he sought. The book suggests that by nurturing wholesome aspects of oneself daily, joy will arise and allow those qualities to flourish. Right concentration, the final practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, supports right diligence and helps one connect deeply with the present moment. Practicing concentration helps one understand the interconnection of everything in existence, which inspires them to treasure life in all its forms.
In conclusion, Thich Nhat Hanh's book serves as a powerful guide for transforming suffering into peace, joy, and liberation by utilizing the teachings of the Buddha. The Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, along with mindfulness, help readers delve deep into their suffering and identify its sources. By following these practices and embracing the opportunities for joy and well-being, individuals can develop true happiness and inner peace. The book emphasizes the importance of these teachings as a daily practice, rather than just a theoretical concept. Through this practice, readers can nurture a more compassionate, interconnected, and harmonious world.